Okay, this writing prompt is sort of about conspiracy theories, and I'm just going to go off the prompt and talk about this weird time I ran into a weird conspiracy theory, and I'm like, this is retarded. And how that conspiracy theory follows me to this day. So there's this video, I think, called like the True History of Humanity, or something, words to that effect, by a channel called Spirit Science. And I think a lot of you have probably seen that video before. It's like an hour-long thing of this dude with a pitched voice talking about the freaking Kundalini and the Merkaba. Jesus Christ came from another dimension, and the Martians are the Illuminati and the Rothschilds. And how Jews came from our future, yet they're also from space. I think if you know what I'm talking, if you've seen that video once in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because that video got pushed to my recommendations a lot. But, the Star of David's just everywhere, and it's like the sign of like a warp device, and how the Martians invaded and fought the Atlanteans, and the dude delivers it with such a deadpan, like he completely believes what he's talking about. Freaking emerald tablets, and all this information came to him from the Egyptian god Thoth. I was in high school. I was my sophomore year of high school. Second semester, first semester of sophomore year. And I was just cruising on YouTube and found this True History of Humanity thing, and I'm like, wow, I'm a history nerd. I like history. Let me watch this random video about the history of the world. And all of a sudden I get this chibi dude talking about the precession of the equinox and Nirabu and the Anunnaki and the Nakals, and I'm like, whoa, hold on. You need to give me some time to chill with that. It was ridiculous. And so I'm like, this is retarded. How has nobody else... And like, I wanted to talk about it with people because it was so ridiculous. But the thing is, I didn't want them to think I'm weird for watching those sort of videos. And I had a biology teacher at the time. We'll call him Mr. Sunshine, because I've called him Mr. Sunshine in other streams and videos. Those of you who've heard me talk about Mr. Sunshine and that story, Mr. Sunshine's a reoccurring character who I don't mean to be a reoccurring character in my life. Popped up way too many times in high school and college than I should have encountered. I call him Mr. Sunshine because that's his personality. He was a very happy dude. He once came to a pep rally for our school, dressed up as a farmer and playing the banjo, singing Rock Me Mama Like a Wagon Wheel. And it was intense, but I love Mr. Sunshine. But he was this weird spiritual type dude, I guess, that we started talking. He wasn't religious, he was spiritual. There's a big difference between that. And I just wondered, he's sort of the weird type of person that would believe this. So I came up with this idea of, what if I downloaded this Spirit Science video about the Tree of Life in Lemuria, stuck it on a spare USB, put a little sticky note on it that said, like, watch this and you'll know the truth, and just leave it on his desk one day. And I would just love to see his reaction to that. He would come in later and just talk about, guys, you don't know what, you have no idea the true history of the world. Even though he was a biology teacher, he would talk about weird stuff that wasn't biology. Most of our biology classes was just us sitting in the desk. He'll come up and start getting ready for our lesson plan. He'll write like a biology topic on the board. Then he'll like visibly get bored, like kind of sigh, and his shoulders would droop. He'll just look over at us with his sad blue eyes, and just walk over, sit on top of one of the desks that nobody was sitting at. And just like, so how have your guys' day? How have you guys been today? And just the rest of the class would just be talking with him, and he would go out there talking about some weird stuff. He also introduced me to Richard Dawkins. So if you're wondering where the Richard Dawkins meme came from, there's so much I could talk about Mr. Sunshine. He'll have to be a topic at some point in this. But I never actually gave him the USB. But I should have, man. I should have. It would be interesting to see his reaction. But for those of you who don't know, I am a writer. I have this little terrible story that's called Conquest that might not be public at the time of recording, but it will be eventually, which is bad because it's filled with like middle school and early high school angst and what you'd expect from that point in my life. And it's part of the Cuckoo universe. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Cuckoo universe. If you haven't heard of the Cuckoo universe, when I was in kindergarten, I wrote a Batman comic and decided everything I write in the future will be set in one universe. And that's how it is. Even today when I write, it's set in what I call the Cuckoo universe, which is a name that I came up with in elementary school. So that's why it has such a stupid name. But I was watching the Spirit Science human history thing. I'm like, this is so stupid and retarded. It would work perfectly fine in Conquest, just because Conquest is full of like space Nazis and robots and zombies and like all the ridiculous stuff. And I'm like, this is so ridiculous it would fit in Conquest just fine. I'm like, hey, you know what, why don't I just do that? I could probably fit all of this weird stuff in the Spirit Sciences video of human history and stick it in Conquest, and it wouldn't feel out of place at all. In fact, it probably won't feel like the weirdest stuff in that story. So I did that and made it canon and wrote a little story arc about that and how like the main character Alexander Pratensis discovers that like Nirabu crashed into Earth 20,000 years ago or whatever. And now, when I'm making the Cuckoo universe available to the public, I'm writing timelines so that people who haven't read everything over the past 16 years would be able to catch up with it just fine. I'm writing these timelines, and I'm like, let me write about the Anunnaki. Now, I changed a few things, like I'm not bringing up like the Kundalini in the Cuckoo universe. That stuff's off the table. I said nothing about the precession of the equinoxes, but still, the basic outline of what happened in that video is in there, and it's so weird. Yeah, that's my little run-in with a conspiracy theory that haunts me to this day because I wrote it in one of my shared universe stories, and now it's canon to my writing universe. And I just hate myself more and more every day.